Hey guys, Drew with Because Jiu-Jitsu. We're going to go over side control. We went over side control escapes in the previous video to this. If you want to check that out, there's some good fundamental basics to getting out of side control in a few different manners. But we're going to kind of screw you over now and give some information on how to maintain side control from the top. So just don't let your training partners know this one. It's going to be basic little tiny tweaks that's going to make that position a lot heavier. So myself, I'm only 170 pounds, but I can hold a 300-pound man down from side control because I'm using these specific tricks to make myself feel a hell of a lot heavier. All right, so we're going to start with what type of side control I'm going to be working with and how to get there, because oftentimes you're not going to start in a perfect side control. You're going to have to work for it. So to start, this near arm is almost always going to be a problem when we're passing the guard. They've got this one down right away. So what I want to do is I want to get chest to chest as much as I can and spread my weight out. So this is what I'm talking about when I say spread my weight. I'm spreading my knees like this and then putting my butt down low. One of the biggest mistakes people make in side control is they get their knees close and they put their butt up in the air. Here I'm actually very tippy and it's not a very good balance. You want to think about rooting your hips to the ground. The higher they are off the ground, the more you can sway in the wind. So any little motion that they make, you're going to carry that motion. The lower you are to the ground, the better you are at maintaining that position. So I'm spreading my weight out, getting my chest down, but now I need to deal with this arm in here because this is a good thing, like you saw in that previous video, for him to frame in between. So what we're going to do, if they have a gi, you can make a spider grip right here. If they don't, I like to cup underneath the tricep down here and pull up as I switch my hips to Kesagatami or scarf hold like this. And now I'm going to keep it pulled up either here or here, keeping tension on that arm, and then switch my hips back again. And now I've got this arm trapped in between my arm and my leg where I like it. This arm down here, like we went over in the previous video, definitely make sure to watch that so you understand what we're talking about. This one here is oftentimes going to be framing against my throat, okay? This is exactly what he wants. So if you're on top, you need to understand how to beat this. And there's a few different ways to do it. What I don't want is if he's got it in already, I don't want to be trying to just sort of fight it with my face, okay? Getting my chin down in there or whatever. It's going to be frustrating and you're going to end up having to separate a little bit, which is exactly what he's looking for. He's looking to separate that chest to chest pressure that we're trying to put down on him. So there's a couple ways we can beat that. One way is to just grab the forearm here and pull it down towards his body like this. Okay, I'm not pushing back into it. This is where it's strong. He's levering up on my throat. I'm going to pull it down here and now put my head down over top of it. Okay, this is going to beat that for the time being. Ideally, what I want is a separation on this thing, and I want it on this side. This is where it's best, okay? So anytime you can get there, we're pulling it down and then pummeling underneath. This is where I want it over here. Now, this is an interesting part of side control, is I don't actually want to clasp my hands and pull him in right here. This feels like you're like really adding extra chest pressure, which you are, but the problem is that I'm kind of locking my hands in a spot that sometimes they're going to bump their weight onto it, trapping me here. Now I can't pull my arms out, and there's lots of ways that he can reverse me from here by pinning my hands. So what I want to do instead is have an active side control by keeping my hands apart like this. They can be used for posting against the ground if he's bucking me around. But also, this one right here, what I like instead of grabbing my own hand is I'm going to hook this one. There's a seam on the gi that runs right underneath the armpit. This is my target I'm always looking for. I'm going to find that seam and grab onto it. And now I can pull him in and put shoulder pressure against his jaw and neck. This is where you start feeling very heavy. So you've got your hips rooted to the ground. You found your grip on the gi. If it's no gi, you can just cup the lat. That works as well. And now I'm going to fold my arm, my shoulder towards my forearm, crushing him sort of down and forward on the head right here. This is very uncomfortable, both on the throat and on the chin. There are ways, if you know what the Von Flue choke is, to set him up for an actual submission here. But for the time being, all I'm doing is just making him carry my weight through his face and his neck, which is very uncomfortable. If I have this grip too, you'll feel the power of just framing that shoulder into the face. This is very uncomfortable, and you can make him suffer here for as long as you want. It pulls my chest into his chest, but also it just sort of crushes the face and neck right here. Next thing I want to mention about staying in this position, maintaining the side control, is almost I'd say the vast majority of his escape options involve getting his legs back involved. This is why this is a powerful position for me, because I'm past his legs. I don't have to worry about his guard anymore. He wants to bring that back into the equation. So if ever I feel like he's starting to make space in between my leg down here and his hips, move these away a little bit, I'm going to replace it with my hand right here. Okay, so this hand that's free, right, for posting can also be used right here to check the hips. So now if he tries bringing a leg in, it's blocked, okay? And I can bring my leg back in and then bring my hand back. Okay, so these little tricks are going to help you maintain not only a heavy side control, but an active and reactionary side control to maintain this position, because this is a very powerful and important position to get good at holding. It's one of the easier ones to hold, but this will make it even better. Okay, these little tricks are what, like I said, is going to make me feel not like 170 pounds. It's going to make me feel like 270 pounds on top of somebody. All right, guys, I hope those tips help you. It should improve the way that you feel on top. Ask your partner when you're throwing these little tricks on them while you're drilling how it feels, and play around on the bottom and see how it feels, because it doesn't feel great. And that's what makes this some of my favorite ways to maintain side control. So hope that helps. Drop a comments or suggestions in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe for future videos. Check out that previous video on escapes out of side control, and we'll see you on the next one.